Hey, this is Glover Teixeira, UFC light heavyweight champion.
Hi, I'm Robbie Lawler.
What's up, fight family? This is your favorite MMA coach, Thiago Alves, the Pitbull.
Hey, what's up, guys? I'm Pedro Munoz.
This is Mike Brown.
Guys, I am Alexei Olenek. And welcome.
And welcome.
And welcome.
And welcome.
And this is We Want One Picks.
And you're watching We Want Picks.
To We Want Picks.
We Want Picks.
To We Want Picks.
To We Want Picks.
Hi everybody from American DraftKings.
I've got the Rona. Christmas is canceled at my house, but I'm still putting in work. We're putting in time, broke down the card. I've got my notes. I've got my picks, and I'm going to walk through the entire UFC Vegas 46 fight card. My name is Angelo, and this is We Want Picks. And if you like UFC, you like breaking down fights, you like betting on fights, and you just like learning more, then this is the channel for you. Make sure you subscribe because we break down fight cards every single week. I am going to break down the entire main card for UFC Vegas 46 Kattar versus Chikadze. I'm going to give you my picks, my bets, and a whole bunch of analysis. But before I dig in, if you like free money, go to wewantpicks.com/bets. We have 5 different betting partners, 5. Sign up with any of them, make a deposit, let me know, and I will send you $50. Cash App, PayPal, Venmo, however you want it. December only has, 2 fights this month, I think, and I have already paid 26 people. So I'm out of pocket a ton of money this month. But go to wewantpicks.com/bets, sign up, make a deposit, let me know. I will send you $50. Let's dig in. So UFC Vegas 46, it's not final yet. It's not for another few weeks, but we've got 4 fights listed as being main card fights. I'm going to break each one of those down for you. And first up on the main card of UFC Vegas 46, we have Michel Pereira versus Muslim Salikhov. Michel Pereira 26-11 overall. He's 3-2 in his last 5, riding a 3-fight win streak, and he's coming off of that win over fellow crazy man Nico Price. Muslim Salikhov 18-2 overall. He's 5-0 in his last 5, and he is coming off of a solid win over the incredibly tough Francisco Trinaldo. Listen, this is the first fight on the main card, or at least it is for now. And what an awesome fight. Just absolute fireworks. We have 2 primary strikers and 2 massive guys for this weight class. Michel Pereira, he's a capoeira fighter. He's got flashy kicks, spins, and punches. And capoeira is that Brazilian dance fighting where they're, literally dancing around, spinning kicks, flips, all sorts of crazy stuff. And that's why he's so athletic. And that's why he takes the risks that he takes. And that's why he will sometimes choose to be flashy instead of just sticking to the fundamentals. And in the past has gotten himself into some trouble doing things like that. He's unbelievably talented. And the read on him was always that he needed to control himself. He needed to fix his cardio. He needed to control the wild spinning, the jumping, and he needed to reel that in to be successful. And that's exactly what he's done. He's really started to control that. His cardio looked good in his last couple of fights, and he started to rein in just the craziness. That's the only word I can use is the craziness. He's really started to rein that in and gotten control of that. He still has a touch of crazy, but it doesn't define him anymore. And he seems to have taken care of that cardio issue. He looked pretty good in his last fight against Nico Price, at least cardio-wise, which is why now he's won 2 decisions in a row because his cardio can hold up. But again, athletic, fast, powerful, and ridiculously versatile on his feet. Muslim Salikhov, he's a big guy for this weight class. And, this will be one of the very few fights where he won't be the bigger guy. You might immediately look at him, look where he's from, look at his training camp, who he trains with, see, oh, he's Russian. We've just got another Dagestani hitman with incredible wrestling. But he's actually a phenomenal striker. He uses his wrestling to keep it on his feet. His striking style is a ton of fun. A ton of fun to watch because he hits really hard. Almost every single strike he throws is a significant strike. But he doesn't just march forward. He doesn't just plot forward throwing bombs. He's versatile. He mixes in his solid fundamentals. He's got spinning kicks, spinning punches, and he's just a ton of fun to watch. So 2 really good strikers, dynamic strikers at that, are going to go at it, welterweight division, to open up the main card. And this is an awesome fight. Should be a ton of fun. Before I give you my pick, let's take a quick look at the stats. These guys are almost identical. They both have a little bit better than the 1-to-1 striking differential, but Muslim is 3-2, where Michel is 4-3. So solid differentials, Michel with a little bit more volume there. Both of these guys use takedowns when they need to and average more than one takedown per fight. And both of them have phenomenal takedown defense, with Muslim at 81% and Michel holding strong at 100% takedown defense in his UFC tenure, which is why I see this as a full-blown striking match. I mentioned a minute ago that the read on Michel used to be that if he could control his crazy, he could be a champion. But this is one of the very few fights where I will say that he actually needs his crazy. I think his crazy would be an asset in this fight because Muslim hits too hard. He's too fast. He's too versatile to just be right in front of him. You want to be crazy. You want to mix it up. You want to keep Muslim guessing so that he doesn't know where the next strike is coming from and might take him out of a rhythm. Because strike for strike, you do not want to be doing that. Will not go well, strike for strike, with Muslim Salikhov. I'm very excited to see this. I've got Muslim winning this fight. I like Salikhov to win this fight. I think Michel is almost a little too tame for his own good recently, and I think Muslim just hits too hard. He comes too fast. He is very versatile. He does have the wrestling if he needs it. I don't think he'll need it. And Michel actually averages more takedowns than Muslim does. But I actually like Salikhov a lot in this fight. He's even money right now. I might jump on that money line. I'm going to wait a little bit to see if it starts to move. If it even inches down, like he gets, to plus 100 instead of plus 105, I'll hit it. If it starts to move the other way because everybody's on Pereira, then I'm going to wait, let it go, and hit it there because I do like Salikhov quite a bit. Michel Pereira is awesome. He's so athletic. He's so massive. He's got a lot going for him, but I just think this is a bad matchup because he's got somebody that'll be willing to stand with him, willing to go at it with him, who has a ton of power and is not quite as athletic, but almost as athletic and certainly as versatile on his feet. Salikhov's the pick. I'm going to love him in DraftKings because he won't be very expensive, and I'm probably going to throw down a moneyline bet on him. I'm really looking forward to this one. Next up, at UFC Vegas 46, we have a Striker's Delight. We've got two guys that possess more power than any human being needs in Joaquin Buckley versus Abdul Razak Alhassan. Joaquin Buckley is 13-4 overall, 3-2 in his last 5. He's coming off a solid TKO win just a few months ago. Abdul Razak Alhassan is 11-4 overall, 2-3 in his last 5, but he's coming off of that awesome knockout win over Alessio Chiricchio. I can never pronounce. I'm Italian. I never pronounce that correctly. He's not Italian, but that's an Italian last name. Joaquin Buckley is the proud owner of the greatest knockout in UFC history. If you haven't seen it, well, here you go. Joaquin Buckley is short. He is thick. And he comes at you with big power, and he comes in hot. He has really good forward movement, but he doesn't cut too many angles. He comes at you straight on with that speed, with power, and he does a great job just ripping the body and then working up to the head. He has a performance of the night bonus in every single one of his UFC wins, and he will definitely be looking for another one against Alhassan. Abdul Razak Alhassan, he's a very powerful puncher. He tends to headhunt while looking for a knockout, but he is a very high-level judo practitioner. He fell in love with his striking and power and sort of abandoned his judo roots. But that's a shame because he's such a talented grappler. And that if he mixed that in more, he would really be a hard puzzle to solve. A guy with that much power, that athleticism, and judo, and grappling, he would be very, very, very tricky to deal with. But he's fallen in love with his striking, and he has become primarily a striker. He's an incredibly talented guy. He's got great power in his hands, and as we saw in his last fight, he has great power in his feet as well. His path to victory here will be to go back to his roots. Go back to those roots, work in the judo, work in takedowns, and then maybe he can keep Buckley guessing and not let him settle into a striking rhythm. The most interesting thing about the fight are the statistics in this matchup. Buckley has a horrific takedown accuracy of only 16%, but he has attempted takedowns in every single UFC fight except one. So he's looking for takedowns in all of his fights. He's just not getting them. And that's surprising because he's a dominant striker, and most of the time there's absolutely no reason for him to be shooting takedowns. But if you look at the majority of Alhassan's losses, he was taken down and ridden out. I don't think that's Buckley's path here to take down Alhassan and ride him out, especially not with that 16% takedown accuracy. I think Buckley needs to pick up the pace, come forward, cut angles, which he doesn't normally do, and he can break Razak. But Alhassan has very good counter-striking and can absolutely catch Buckley on the way in. Listen, I like Buckley here, but I am not sleeping on Alhassan's power, timing, or counter-striking. I think Razak is probably the more dangerous fighter, which sounds crazy, especially after I just showed you that knockout of Buckley. I think Hassan's the more dangerous fighter. The problem is when he's on his back foot and he's letting people dictate, it doesn't bring the fight out in him. He's a good counter striker, but I think if Buckley just comes forward, sticks with the pace, throws heavy, I think he'll take this fight. Stoppage KO, it's always possible with both of these guys. I don't love the minus 145 because, Alhassan is very dangerous. And for all we know, he's going to come out here, go back to those judo roots, and just start tossing Buckley all over the place. So Buckley's the pick. We'll see what the price is in DraftKings. Certainly a Knockout Kings and Monkey Knife fight when that is available. But right now, Buckley's the pick. I'm not going to put a money line bet on him. But what I will do, this will likely be a 1.5 round betting line. Depending what that looks like, I'm probably going to go the over. Because I actually think these guys may take a step back, may take a little bit of time. We could see Razak looking to grapple. We could see Buckley looking to close distance but hold against the cage. So I would like over 1.5 on this. We'll see what those odds are. They haven't dropped just yet. But this is a fun fight. I'm definitely looking forward to it. And hopefully neither one of them are gun shy. Next up, at UFC Vegas 46, we have the rematch that nobody asked for. We have Katlyn Chookagian versus Jennifer Maia. Katlyn Chookagian, 16-4 overall, 3-2 in her last 5, coming off of a very close win over Vivian Araujo. Jennifer Maia, 19-7 overall, 3-2 in her last 5, alternating wins and losses. Listen, Katlyn Chookagian is a tough 1s-2 fighter. She works really hard. She stays very busy. And when I say 1s and 2s, I mean she sticks to the basics. She's very, very good at the basics. She hides her 2s, which is a straight right, behind her 1s, which is a jab. And that is as fundamentally sound as you can be. And she does that really, really well. And she stays in her lane with those solid fundamentals. She's mastered them. She's not a finisher, but she game plans really well. She'll strike with grapplers. She'll grapple with strikers. And she does a really good job planning for a fight, sticking to that game plan, and being so busy that regardless of what actually happened, the judges love it, and she gets the decision. Jennifer Maia is a well-rounded fighter. She's got good BJJ, just okay wrestling, but very underrated boxing. She's actually similar to Katlyn in that she's a decision fighter, but she does have a few tricks up her sleeve, like that submission win over Joanne Calderwood, which actually earned her a title shot against Shevchenko, where unfortunately for her, she was taken down 5 times. Her normal path to victory is to outbox her opponents who are too afraid to take her down because she is pretty slick on the ground. I opened this noting that it was a rematch. Katlyn, and let's talk about that rematch. So Katlyn won that fight 29-28, and she did it with just sheer striking volume. The first round was pretty close. The second round, Katlyn absolutely ran away with it with the numbers. And Katlyn managed to outstrike Maia the third round, even though she was taken down and controlled for almost half of that entire round. In order for Katlyn to win, she needs to do the exact same thing. Stay away, land as much as possible, and take over with volume. For Maia to win, she needs to crowd Katlyn. She needs to grapple, get a takedown, steal the seconds, steal the minutes, and take away the volume. The question is, can she? We saw in the third round in the last fight, she had some success with that. She had success with the grappling. She got a takedown. She held her down for 2 minutes, had some control. But overall, she only has a 50% takedown accuracy, and that is matched up against Chookagian's 50% takedown defense. This is a tough fight to call, man. These odds are absurd. Minus 160, I get it. She won the first fight, but that was a close-ish fight. We saw that Jennifer had a clear path. I know the judges love Katlyn, but minus 160, we're almost flirting with a 2-1 here. And it's not like she blew the brakes off of Maia, especially when Maia had the grappling success. So this is a tough fight to call. But at the end of the day, I trust Katlyn enough, or I trust Katlyn more to stick to her game plan, stay on the outside, and be prepared for the takedowns than I trust Maia to come in and just shoot over and over and over and stay in Katlyn's face. I think this is closer to a pick'em. The judges have proven to us that they love Chookagian. She wins every single close decision that she's in. And I like Chookagian to do more of the same. Heavy volume, stay on the outside, dance around, defend where she can. If Maia comes in here, much more aggressive, stays in her face, more strikes, mixes in more takedowns, she could absolutely win this fight. I just don't trust her enough to do that. What I will say, so I don't like the odds for a straight up money line, but what I do like, obviously we're coming off of a 29-28, right? This was a 2 rounds to 1 the last time they fought. I think it'll be more of the same regardless of who wins. And we might catch these odds makers sleeping. So if we catch them sleeping, we can get a plus 3.5 bet. Anything less than 200, I will take on either one of these ladies. Whatever the odds are better, I'll grab. If you don't know what that is, basically you're buying around on the judge's scorecard. So the last fight, Katlyn won 2 rounds to 1. So if you did a plus 3.5, you bought 3.5 points in the judge's scorecard. And if you did it on Maia last fight, you bought yourself another round. She gets 2 rounds. You win money even though she loses the fight. And you're only going to get that at wewantpicks.com/bets. We have 5 partners. The one partner that offers those buy around bets is BetOnline. Go there, make a deposit, let me know, and I will send you $50. It is that simple. wewantpicks.com/bets. Next up, at UFC Vegas 46, we have the main event of the evening. We have Calvin Kattar versus Giga Chikadze. Calvin Kattar, 22-5 overall. He's 3-2 in his last 5, coming off of that one-sided loss to Max Holloway. Giga Chikadze, 14-2 overall, 5-0 in his last 5, riding a 3-fight stoppage streak. Calvin Kattar is a boxer and one of the best boxers in the UFC. He has power, but most of his knockouts actually come from incredible speed and timing. Those shots, those knockout shots, it's not just big raw power. It is just so well timed. He cut the right angle, bang, knockout. Perfect, well timed uppercuts. His timing is spectacular. His hands are always exactly where they need to be. He cuts angles better than almost anybody in that division. And I would love to talk about his stats. The problem is Max Holloway absolutely ruined those. In one fight, Max Holloway destroyed all the lifetime stats of Calvin Kattar and made them almost meaningless or very hard to decipher. But in his wins, Calvin Kattar has outstruck every single opponent, and he should have a very nice striking differential overall for his career. But Max touched them up so bad that in his 9-fight UFC career, Calvin Kattar's striking differential has fallen to a negative 8-5, which means he has hit 8 times for every 5 that he puts out. And that's all because Max Holloway hit him 400-something times in that fight and really skewed those stats. He does have a 90% takedown defense, but only a 30% takedown accuracy. And he might need those takedowns in this fight. Giga Chikadze is the future of this division. He's a phenomenal striker with a solid jab and fantastic kicks. He stopped Cub with a liver kick. Then he put out an incredibly tough Edson Barboza with punches. He does an incredibly good job managing that range. And he uses his kicks to keep you out. And then he comes in with his hands. And then when you try to close the distance, he goes right back to those kicks to keep you away. He's not a high-volume guy. He's landing less than 4 significant strikes per minute. But he does such an amazing job keeping his opponent's volume low that he doesn't end up in these firefights. No matter what you bring to him, he can slow you down, keep you at bay, move out of the way. Those kicks really control a lot of the pace and a lot of the range, and he'll stay out of firefights, even if that's what you're trying to bring to him. He does have a loss on the Contender Series. His very first appearance in the UFC was a loss. He was taken down 4 times and then eventually submitted. And that's the only time in his UFC career that he's even looked like a human being. This is a really fun fight. My gut is saying Giga will win. because he manages range so well. He's amazing at slowing down his high volume opponents. And Calvin Kattar is exactly that. He is a high volume opponent. Calvin's wins come from bringing the pressure, touching you up, finding those angles, and either putting you out or just overwhelming you with the amount of volume that he gets up there. Max overwhelmed Calvin. Moicano overwhelmed Calvin. Zabit did the same to Calvin. But Giga is different. He's not a pressure guy. And that's what makes this such an interesting fight, because you may say Giga's a phenomenal striker, that's it. But if you look at Calvin's losses and how he loses, he's beaten very good strikers before. Where he loses, if you get in his face and you just put that volume on him, that's when he has trouble. And that's not how Giga fights. You know, Calvin did the right thing after the Max loss. He took time off. It's been almost a full year, and I would like to think that he spent that time healing up and working on wrestling as a plan B, because it was very clear he did not have a plan B in that Max fight. Giga's the real deal. I love this matchup because we'll find out exactly how good he is. I love Calvin in the underdog spot. If he comes forward, somehow works past the kicks and mixes in an occasional takedown attempt to get him guessing, I think he could throw Giga off his timing. If he catches a kick, takes him down off a caught kick, well, now Giga's number one asset, which is kicks, all of a sudden could be working against him. So if Calvin and his camp are planning accordingly and they're working on catching kicks, they're working on takedowns, all of a sudden this could be a very interesting fight because his hands are fantastic. And all he really needs to do for his hands to work is to get inside of those kicks, get inside of the range, and he can make that happen. I think this is much, much closer than the odds. It's not exactly a pick 'em. I think Giga should absolutely be the favorite, but I do think this is a pretty close fight. I like Calvin here. I'm not picking him to win. I do think Giga wins. And if there's a place to bet here, so I'm not going to get the money line, but if there's a place to bet here, I actually think Calvin Kattar plus 5.5 might be a good spot. And all that bet means is I'm buying some points on the judges' scorecard. So I don't need Calvin to win. I just need Calvin to steal a couple of rounds. I bought myself another round or two, and now all of a sudden Calvin can win a decision. As long as he doesn't get shut out, I can win my bet and take home some money. And I think Calvin can have some real success here. I don't think he's going to win the fight. I do think he'll avoid getting knocked out. We've seen just how incredibly tough he is. And if this is a low round line, I'll bet the over on that. But if you want to buy yourself a round or 2 rounds on the judges' scorecards, go to wewantpicks.com/bets. We have 5 different partners. Bet Online is the one partner that offers those plus point bets where you buy the round. You buy 2 rounds, whatever it is. And those are awesome bets because you don't need him to win. You just need him to win a few rounds on his own. You bought him the other rounds, and then you win your bet. So if he's plus 175, the lines haven't dropped, but if he's plus 175 money line, buying 5.5 points, he'll probably be plus 120. So you're losing some points, but you're gaining a whole lot of insurance. wewantpicks.com/bets. Click on Bet Online, make a deposit, grab that, but then let me know, and I will send you $50 just for supporting us and our partners. This is a really fun fight card. I'm really looking forward to it. We have a few more weeks to plan and dig in. Comment down below. I'm very curious what you guys think here. Don't forget to join the Discord, argue with each other there, do all the Discord things that people do. And I'll see you guys in a couple of weeks. We'll put out some content between now and then. Have a Merry Christmas. Enjoy your families. See you soon.